What is going on, beautiful people? It is Dr. B. Dr. B Speaks, the inspirational teacher. I'm super excited. This is the very first video that I have uploaded to my Instagram page. That is actually me speaking about specific content, specific topics with a more structured approach. So I'm really trying to do what I can to move things along, get this channel going, get the channel growing, get some people coming through the channel, and attracting people who are like-minded, and maybe you're not like-minded, but you still want to be the best version of you possible. So again, welcome to Dr. B Speaks. I am Dr. B, the inspirational teacher. So I just want to talk about a subject that is really important to me because I believe there are a lot of really, and I'm just using simple words. This is Dr. B, but I'm trying to simplify it also, right? Really significant things that can happen. Let me just say it that way. When you make good decisions. Um, there are a lot of factors with decisions. There's spiritual decisions. There's um, personal decisions. There's business decisions. There's all sorts of levels of or areas of decision, and then there are also levels of decisions. So I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about decision making, some personal insights on decision making, as well as some practical, empirical data. Some statistical things. And let me also say this about the page, the channel, everything. I'm going to talk to you guys about my background and such, throughout some later videos. The setup, everything is just kind of fresh. It's going to be updated. You're going to see, this is brand, I shouldn't say fresh, maybe like brand new, I think is the best word. My chair's a little squeaky. I got a lot of things I want to do to upgrade it and to get it to a different space. But for now, we're just going to keep it grindy, if you will, right? But yet educational and yet at a very high level of knowledge. So remember, I'm the inspirational teacher, so I don't want you to just think that you're just getting knowledge. I also want you to be inspired to go out and use the knowledge and apply the knowledge. That is the key to what we're going to be talking about. So let me first say, for those who are not familiar with me and what I do have a doctorate in business. Essentially, it's organizational leadership, and it's a EDD, but similar to a PhD. Might as well say a PhD. It's very similar. Most people are familiar with a PhD, and I can talk to you about my background and the things that I've done and success and all that, author and professor and entrepreneur and all that. But what's most important is that what distinguishes me from a lot of other voices that you may hear out there is I'm the type of person that has the book knowledge, right? But then also understands how to be able to apply practical, I'm not going to say necessarily everyday, but practical solutions to problems and has, gotten results as well. So I'll say more as we move forward. We know about what we do and revenues and things like that, but not a whole lot because that's not really that important. Just the fact that I am qualified to be able to come before you, right, and provide you with some knowledge and some insights because the things that I talk to you about, I really work to apply to my own life. All right, so enough of that, right? Decision making. So let's get right into it. So, what is decision making and why is it important? Let me start off with a quick story. So, for those of you that are spiritual people, like myself, I'm a Christian. I don't even like the word Christian. I'm a believer in the Lord Jesus Christ. And I have a problem with the word Christian, but sometimes titles and things get people in trouble. But I believe in Jesus. You may believe in Buddha. You may believe in Allah, whomever you believe in, and that's your choice. And I respect that. Hopefully, you'll respect mine. So, as such, I remember going to a conference. This was the Azusa Fellowship Conference in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Amazing conference. Bishop Carlton Pearson was the host of the conference. Amazing. And I was riding in the car and picked up Bishop, the late now, just passed recently, and it's still very difficult to even talk about his name because he was a father figure to me, Bishop L.D. Skinner, in Columbus, Georgia, Bread of Life Christian Center. Definitely loved and Grace and peace and all that to the bread. Um, and we were talking about decisions. And Bishop Skinner was really, really good at making things make sense. Sometimes that maybe we had mystified in the church, which is another one of the things that I want to do in this channel is maybe demystify some of the spiritual things and help people understand it from a more practical way. Was decisions, right? I was a young guy who wanted to please God, wanted to do good, right? And didn't always do the right thing, was kind of bad at the same time, but I tried to do the right thing. I tried to make good decisions. So I asked him, I said, Bishop, so how do you make decisions about career? How do you make decisions about, your spouse? How do you make decisions about, whether to be an entrepreneur, like whatever. And you know what he told me? It totally changed my life, I feel. He said, as long as you have God in mind when you're making the decision. In other words, as long as you're trying to honor God in your decision, you're not doing something that's going to be way out crazy, just some evil plan, God will back you. God will back you. And I have found that to be the case. I am a musician and I sing, like R&B type of music, love songs, relationship, maybe about, emotions or things like that. That's not necessarily a Christian, gospel sector. And hopefully, I got to talk about that in another channel, another time. That'll move forward. But I know that the decision, right, to sing certain songs, as long as I know my heart, I don't, use certain words and I don't go a certain direction, God is with me, right? And so I truly believe that. So, that's one of the things, that story I think is extremely important, right? Okay, so, all right, there you go. So what is decision making, right? What does it actually mean from a actual educational standpoint? According to text, right? Business decisions, because this is in kind of an entrepreneurial type of setting, it could be for anybody, but business decision making is essentially choosing between two alternatives, alternative A and B, alternative 1 or 2. And then there's a difference between that and what's called problem solving, right? Problem solving is a little simpler from the standpoint of maybe you have pros, or maybe it could be a little bit simpler in some settings, but then it could be more complex in others. It kind of depends. But you have pros, you have cons, and generally speaking, problem solving can happen quicker. Okay, you have a problem that comes up, you have to move on that problem, get the problem solved. Whereas a decision, it could be a large multi-million-dollar decision. If you're an entrepreneur who has, millions of dollars in revenue, it could be a major decision. So problem solving, decision making can be two different things, but those are two similar areas that I figured I would, bring into the conversation. All right, so and then why is decision making important? I'm going to use another example, another story here. Someone who I call a mentor of mine, a personal mentor, Mr. Harold Anderson. When I was going through college, said something to me that I think still sticks with me to this day. He said the most important decision in your life, one of the most, I think he says it was his words, I think those were his words rather, is who you choose as your spouse, right? Your mate. Wow, big one, right? So why are decisions important? Okay, so the simple answer, I think you can intuitively guess, right, what those answers or what one answer could be, is that decisions shape the future. Okay, so you've heard that saying, what you decide, today is what can happen down the road, right? I mean, and you hear these sayings, but this is fact. This is a true, not all sayings are fact, but that's fact, right? If you make a decision, you made one in 2015, and then you're fast forward to 2020. If you were applying yourself and doing certain things, depending on the type of decision, you probably saw, benefits or harvest, right, from 2015 to 2020. Or another example. So decision making is a critical thing. It's really important. I don't know how much is actually taught in maybe a church setting about simple things like this, but I wanted to make this first video about decision making because it applies so often to what I do as a business owner, CEO of a company. My wife is a CEO, business owner with a company, and as well as I have multiple companies, and so it's really important. It's really important, both in personal and professional life. All right, so there's levels to decision making. There's simple, complex, and there's probably others that we could discuss. I'm not going to really get into that right now. I'm just going to make this video fairly simple. I'm already at probably about 10 or so minutes. So let me just talk about one really key factor as we kind of wrap up. Intention with decisions. So one of the things that I look at in my personal life is my intention, my heart, right? What is the purpose of my heart? And for me, and I have made this decision, hopefully you'll make this decision. Everything that I do in regards to other people in my life, period, right? The intention in my life, I am working towards always having the intention to be a blessing to other people, right? That's why I'm doing this channel. That's why I'm doing this video right now. Obviously, I want thousands of followers. I want, financial success, just like maybe perhaps you do. But before that, right? Before the thousands of followers, before the financial success, my intention, my heart, what drives me to make this video the very best video is to be a blessing, to help someone else, right? Blessing, right? Church talk. To help someone else be better than they were. And that's where I'm at. I'm the type of person that always wants to be better. LeBron James, I'm a huge fan of his. One of the things that he says in a lot of his posts, and I use it in my posts as well, I think I actually started using it from his post, was strive for greatness, right? I've always been a proponent of greatness. When I saw his hashtag, I started using that hashtag. I don't remember if I was using it before. I think he was using it before. I liked it. I said, I'm going to use that. But whoever was using it first, the point is striving for something beyond what I currently am is huge, right? Because I'll tell you another story. I got a lot of stories. All right, so I am a martial artist. Been studying martial arts for some time, and I remember my second master that I studied under, Master Namsu Young. Shout out to Master Young in Champaign, Illinois. What he said was, and this was I'm shortening this story. Basically, this is the day that I met him. He didn't know me, I didn't know him. But we just had a real brief interaction, and through that interaction, what he said was that what is the point of doing something if you're not getting better at that thing, right? Like, I mean, that's actually huger than, I can't see y'all. I don't know the response of y'all, I feel like that should be some claps or something. It's so simple yet so profound. We do things every single day. We do things all the time, but are we actually thinking about, consciously working towards being a better version of ourselves, of our professions, of everything that we have to do, parenting, etc., as we progress in life? Are we actually consciously trying to be better, right? That's a huge thing. I don't know a lot of people that I have talked to, but I don't really have a big circle. So, I got to get out more, and not right now with COVID, but still find myself here quite a bit. My home little studio. So I'll show y'all the studio in another video. So listen, that's basically what I had to talk to. I have a couple more points that I was going to get to, but that's basically it. Decision making in a nutshell. I wanted to bring both the spiritual element and then a practical element as well, and you'll see this throughout all of my videos. So listen, I like to have fun. I like to make life interesting, right? So that's what I'm about. This channel, this page, because this is going to be on Instagram mainly, but I'm going to put it on YouTube as well, all the different platforms. It's all about having fun. So listen, this is your boy, Dr. B, the inspirational teacher. Remember, I'm an inspirational teacher, not a motivational speaker. I'm always here to try to help you be the best version of you that you possibly can.